Russian warbloggers are furious about the catastrophic defeat of a Russian armored column in the Kursk region, reportedly causing hundreds of casualties. They are bitterly critical of the commanders responsible. The failed assault happened near the hamlet of Nikolsky, near Malaya Lochnya in Russia's Kursk region. According to the Russian North Channel Telegram channel, Nikolsky was mostly recaptured by North Korean forces, who then lost it in what may have been a failed rotation. North Channel wrote on 15 February, "Our allies were one step away from liberating the Nikolsky farmstead in the Malaya Lochnya area. As of yesterday evening, they controlled 80% of the settlement under intense fire pressure." They waited for reinforcements from the Russian 155th Brigade for several days, but they never came. Hello, 155th Brigade Commander Colonel Mikhail Gudkov. This morning, North Korean stormtroopers began to slowly, in organized groups, leave Nikolsky. The channel asks why there was a betrayal of the North Koreans which turned out ugly in front of our allies. It's unclear why the Russians didn't reinforce them, but it may either have been a botched rotation or, as the channel goes on to suggest, a deliberate ploy. The following day, Colonel Gudkov ordered an assault by T-80BV tanks and BTR-82 AAPCs across open fields. The column drove into a minefield and was swarmed by Ukrainian drones, taking heavy losses. The infantry was forced to dismount and was then largely wiped out. North Channel writes, "There's a fucking shit going on near Nikolsky right now. The 155th column, under red fucking flags like on parade, went head-on into a swarm of Ukrainian drones on a mined road." Don't rub your eyes, we wrote it right. Exactly under the red flags of victory and exactly along the mined road. We'll have more details later. Praying for the lads who are in the fields now. Commanders Gudkov, Tatarchenko, Solodchuk, you are complete bastards. 2 out of 3 are ho-hols, Ukrainians. These are not planning errors, this is betrayal and murder. The channel says, the brilliant plan was to attack in 2 waves with a pause. First, the Allies wear down the enemy defense. The Yukis lose their vigilance due to the supposed retreat of the assault groups, and then the 155th heroically breaks through the weakened resistance. On paper, it does look pretty good. It is obvious that they tried to save the personnel of our brigade, albeit at the expense of cynically using allies as bait. But apparently, in the rapture of their tactical genius, Gudkov and Igor Tatarchenko took a huge bolt on all other aspects of planning the operation. The second wave came forward not after a short pause, but a full day later. During this time, those among the Ukrainians who were tired had time to either rest or be replaced by fresh fighters. The assault was launched in broad daylight, and in clear weather. So the enemy saw you still fucking knows where, and had 15 to 20 minutes to think about how he should react. It is somehow inconvenient to write about the lack of engineering reconnaissance on the main offensive road. A couple of months ago, the 810th went onto the mines near Pogrebki in the same way. Didn't those losses teach anyone anything? In the end, our column was dispersed in about 40 minutes. The Ukrainians probably threw all their drones into the battle when they saw such a tasty target. It's disgusting to imagine how they then hunted with a sly grin for a couple dozen of our infantrymen who had to parachute into the middle of an open field. It makes sense to reinvent the wheel when there are no questions about the basics. All these tactical maneuvers are worthless when we can't provide the basics. Excellent students in their second year at a military academy plan more competently. But here, everyone wants to be the 19th century generals Kutuzov-Suvorov. A week ago, the leadership of the North Group of Forces removed Colonel Pavel Filyayev from the post of brigade commander of the 11th Airborne Assault Brigade. It was the right move, but Filyayev was not the only one of his kind in our direction. If we gather all the power of the Northerners under adequate command, the enemy will not be pleased. After the failure of the assault, North Channel writes, blame is being put on the now deceased drivers of the armored vehicles. They were driving too slowly. There is no longer any way to punish them. The senior officers will get it for poor training of personnel. They are now starting to make excuses that the electronic warfare worked and everything was well organized, but nothing good happened. Almost all the Ukrainian FPVs flew in and did their job. It is quite possible that the attack would have been successful if it had been carried out a day earlier. Red flags on the vehicles. By and large, There is nothing terrible about this. Well, in the sense that it is stupid to write that the flags were a giveaway factor. A large armored vehicle in an open snow field is in itself a pretty good giveaway object. There is a suspicion that these flags were some kind of compliment to the North Korean allies, like, well, you and I are of the same blood. But this is an unfounded assumption. We will not write about the number of the dead. Some of the fighters were later hit by airdrops. Some ran away to the tree lines. At a temperature of -15, frostbite is not the worst option. Everything can be much worse. Military informant considers the wider lessons from this fiasco. With the current dominance of drones over the battlefield, even a relatively well-prepared attack with anti-mine trawls and electronic warfare systems has every chance of failing, simply because several FPV drones at different frequencies will fly at each armored unit, breaking through the jamming. Without a systemic solution to the problem of drones in the sky and continuous minefields on the ground, such attacks, in most cases, will end either unsuccessfully or with heavy losses, as they ended for the Ukrainian armed forces during their recent counterattacks near Sudzha. A fire in Voronezh destroyed 2 Russian R-330 Zich GTEL electronic warfare systems overnight on January 27th to 28th, 2025. The systems were at the Protech plant where they were produced. Russia planned to send them to the war in Ukraine, but the fire had other plans. Friedrich Merz, head of Germany's CDU, took aim at pro-Russian party leader Alice Weidel during a TV debate. Weidel wants to restore Russian gas ties and rebuild relations with the fool. Merz firmly declared, "We stand with Ukraine and will protect the current Europe."
Look at the pictures, Ms. Weidel, and look at the people in Ukraine. You just said a very revealing sentence. We would no longer be perceived as neutral by Russia. No, Ms. Weidel, we are not neutral. We are not in between. We are on Ukraine's side and defending with Ukraine the political order we have here. And your words that you just spoke confirm to me that I am doing everything. I will do everything to prevent you from ever getting political responsibility in this country.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.